Hey everyone, this is Sean. So today I want to show you Kimi K2, which is the latest model launched by a Chinese AI company called Moonshot.ai. It's arguably one of the best open source models right there on the market. And they just launched 1 week ago, and they already hit 5.7 thousand stars on GitHub. They launched their benchmark data as well. You can see that they're comparing Kimi K2 with DeepSeek, Q1, OpenAI, Claude, Gemini. And in many of these benchmarks, they beated a lot of the other models, and in some, Claude is still better than Kimi. For example, this is software engineering benchmark. In this video, I won't talk much about the benchmarks because there are many other videos already talking about it. I want to show you a real example of how to set up Kimi on your own computer and how to use it to actually code something full stack. And last but not least, how much we're actually spending with this Kimi open source model, because they argue that they are 20% cheaper than Claude. And in some videos, people say they're 80% cheaper, so we'll find out, okay? And just as a quick summary after filming this video, so using Kimi K2 actually saved quite a lot of money, but I will leave it until the end of the video to disclose it. And on the other hand, I think a very interesting impact for this Kimi K2 model is that it's open source. And I remember back then when Llama was launched, it really pushed the progress of AI foundational model being developed all over the world. And I think Kimi K2 is contributing just as much to the community. And I hope that people in the AI research industry will continue this progress for making things open source and publicly available. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and let's get started. I prepared actually a GitHub right here, and I'm calling it YT Kimi K2 Claude. And I'll start by showing you how to set up the model with Cursor. Also, I'm going to use Claude Code inside of Cursor. This is my favorite page, to be honest. Right now, I have Cline on the left-hand side, I have Claude Code in the middle, and I have Cursor on the right-hand side. And for Claude Code, I connected it through Kimi's base URL, and I say, draw Kimi for me. It actually drew a cat for me. I have a README document. You can see that there's a quick start, okay? I'll just walk you through it real quick. So first, you're gonna install Anthropic Claude Code, paste this in, and I'm gonna close Cursor for now. In this document called Kimi Claude Code Setup Guide, okay? I have more explanations of why we're doing these certain things, but just follow your own path and then paste these things with your own computer's route. Let's come back here, check Claude version. Now comes the interesting part. So you need to do a bypass region restriction. And by the way, these are all open information. I just did like a quick Perplexity search. How do you set up Kimi K2 with Claude Code? You literally just copy this and then paste it here in your terminal. You need to export your Kimi's key as well as your Anthropic base URL link. Because what we're doing here, according to this Perplexity search, is that we're still using Claude Code to run Kimi, but we're using Kimi's own base URL. All right, go to Kimi's Moonshot, platform.moonshot.ai/console/API-keys, and then you need to generate a new key. Say OK. All right, I'm just going to copy this key. I'll delete this key later, so don't even try to use it. All right, I will save them over here, just for my own reference. Okay, and then following this instruction, replace the key with the actual keys. Okay. And then paste it here. For Anthropic base URL, we need to set it to be api.moonshot.ai/Anthropic. Okay, let's paste it here. Double check, are you in the right URL folder or not? If yes, run Claude. Okay, let's get started. So I'm gonna run Claude right now. Cool, it's using Moonshot.ai Anthropic. Okay, and then you can confirm that by checking how much money they're deducting from your API. So in the same website, so far I have spent just under $1, 0.76 cents, okay? And then if we just like do something about it, and I just say, okay, create a quick game of numbers for me, whatever, all right? Claude is using Kimi's model capability to power the functionalities over here, all right? And then when you're running these tokens, they're already using the tokens from this API, all right? So if I refresh this, still the same number because we haven't finished this yet, but we'll show that later, okay? I'll just let this run for a bit. Remember, we could also use Cline. Click on this and then search Cline, and then you can install it it's an extension. You can see there's a drop-down list, and then you can click on Cline over here. You can choose Anthropic here as well, put in the key, okay, and then put in this custom base URL as well, Moonshot.ai, api.moonshot.ai/Anthropic, same thing, okay? If you hit done, you can just chat with it. I prefer to use terminal with Claude because this is blocking my view for my file directories. So I used Claude to build something already, and I'll show you how good it is, okay? This project called Personal Finance Dashboard. What this contains is it has a NextJS front end and is using Supabase as its backend. cd Personal Finance Dashboard, okay, and then just do npm run dev, and just check out this website. Yeah, it's a very simple finance flow product that you could just add expense. Like if I say $5,000 of expense, if I add it, this is for dinner today, and say add transaction. Okay, yeah, simple like that. And if I do an incognito, it will allow me to sign up and create an account. Okay, so I finished this product in about, I don't know, it didn't take a long time, but it also wasn't the fastest compared with using Cursor directly. But I would say it's doing an okay job so far with the terminal over here. And I'm gonna show you a real example right now to build a full stack product using Claude Code as well as Kimi K2 model, okay? So let's get started. All right, so now I assume everyone has access to Kimi using a Claude Code or as well as your favorite code editor. And now let's go to, let me just stop this, okay? Let's go to the main folder. And what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna stick with this little cat, okay? And I'm gonna start asking questions here. We're gonna build a personal habit tracker, just like that personal finance tracker. But then I'm gonna show you some basic things, okay? The front end, we're gonna use Next.js 14, TypeScript, Tailwind CSS, Shad CN UI, okay? Backend, we're gonna use Supabase, which is one of the most popular backend/database on the internet. And it's using SQL, as well as we're gonna set up an authentication. And there's some core features over here, all right? And there's some like basic database structure that we're gonna build for these tables, okay? I have not built this, so I'm just gonna see at one shot how well it can do, okay? So I'm gonna copy this prompt and close cursor, bye-bye. And then I'm gonna come back here, all right? I'm gonna just like paste this. I'm gonna just say, okay, before I paste it, I say, okay, prioritize the following request to build an MVP first, and then we can keep adding on stuff later. And then let's say, if you are stuck, feel free to ask me questions, okay? So I'm gonna paste this prompt, and then it has 170 lines, so Claude Code is not even showing it, and then hit enter. Okay, we'll see how good it runs. All right, so using tokens, blah, 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 and we can see like the prompt is right here. So I'll help you build this habit tracking application for live demonstration. Let me start by creating the to-do list to track our progress, okay? In the meantime, let's set up Supabase so that we have the keys ready and then we have the backend database ready, okay? So if this is your first time using Supabase, I will show you how to do that, okay? All right, obviously I have a bit of slow internet, but it's okay. Kimi-K2 YouTube. All right, so just give it a quick password and then create new project, okay. Save it. Okay, so I will delete this project as well, so I don't mind just showing you the keys. All right, so for a Supabase project, it's important you keep your project URL as well as your API key in your local environment, and then you'll be able to see that there's a table here, and then you can edit some scripts over here to add tables, alter some rules, policies, all these kind of things, and then you can handle authentication. All the authentication is over here. And I'm going to say npm run dev. If it's already ready, then it should be able to launch that front end locally. Okay, so 3000 is already under use, so it's using localhost 3001. Let's enter it. Okay, so cool. We have a Next.js project, which is good. You can see that there's a source folder where we have the page. Let me show you the page. Or the page, which is the default page for Next.js. And okay. And now it's using ShadCN UI, which is a very popular package for building front-end components. Okay, do you want to proceed? I don't want you to ask me any of these kind of questions, so I said, don't ask me again. Okay. In the meantime, let's check how much money we're using. So before I refresh, we had 0.7589, and now let's refresh it. Yeah, we use like 1 cent, kind of. Okay, do you want to proceed? Of course we want to proceed. Just keep going, man. I like how Claude is asking me for permissions, just like the cursor agent mode, which if I want to run any command lines in the terminal, they always ask me for permission. Do I approve it or not? But also, you know, it's like a kind of a trade-off because if you're a vibe coder, sometimes when you're waiting for your code to be finished, you're probably like doing something else out there, right? Like, you know, I'll probably like swiping on X. I'll probably walk around, right? And then when I come back, I realize that holy shit, there's like a command waiting for me to approve, and then nothing was built in the past 10 minutes. I'll be like, okay, shit, just do it. Just do it. Don't ask me for permission. I'll sometimes just give it my full permission. Okay, but it's very dangerous because sometimes they just delete files, remove files, or move things around, or download packages that you don't really need, or get into a loop, which is not good. Okay, just be careful about this. Update to do. So set up the Next.js 14, install and configure the components. Now it's setting up the Supabase project, configure the database. This is great, good progress. It built a bunch of components here, a bunch of buttons in this component UI. There's one thing that's funny I want to show you guys while we're waiting for this. What's funny is that when Kimi was launched for this product, when Kimi launched it, I think it was last Friday, and on the same day, I think OpenAI was going to launch their open weight model as well. And then Sam was posting that they plan to launch it next week instead of this week. They're delaying it because of blah, 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 blah. I mean, like, there's a bunch of support. Look at this. I too think K2 is very good, Sam. So people are saying, like, Sam Altman delayed OpenAI's first open source model because Kimi K2 was too good. And he cannot just launch another model that's like worse than Kimi. So look at this, like people are posting Kimi's benchmark over here for Sam. Okay, this is funny. Sam's tweet got 3.4 million views, and then I think it was on the same day. This was July 12th, but it's like 2 a.m. in my time zone. And this is Kimi, which was 4 p.m. July 11th. So Sam posted that right after Kimi's launch, okay? And then Kimi also got 2.4 million views. So this is amazing. This is really cool. But yeah, I mean, let's find out. Let's find out how good it is. Let's see. So we want to set up the Supabase project and configure database schema and create file, schema.sql, create extension, blah, 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 blah. Okay, this is my data tables. Do you want to create the schema SQL? Of course, and don't ask again. So it created this SQL schema for me, which is great. I'm going to copy this whole thing. Let's turn on SQL editor. Let's press the plus button, create a new snippet, and paste it here. Okay, these are the tables that we're going to create. All right. Handle new user. Actually, this is a function that we're going to create. Handle new user and trigger when a new user has been added. So that's like a typical move when you do authentication through Supabase. After you run this function and trigger, guys, feel free to watch my previous video on Supabase because I have explained very clearly how does function and trigger work. But essentially what it does is that if somebody logged in and signed up through your platform and you're using Supabase to help you with authentication, it will automatically record that person and then it will write into your database. Okay, that's what it does. That's what this function was doing. All right. Let me just run it. Should be fine. Okay, success. Great. Now we have a table called habit underscore categories. For Supabase, you can come back here and then turn on database. You can see the relationship here. Okay, so authorized user ID is mapped to the table profiles. And every profile ID is linked to habits. Every user ID in habits is profile ID. And every habit ID is tracked by habit logs to track what the heck this person did. And then there's a separate habit category, which probably will be referenced by these two tables. Interesting. Something's wrong here. Let's ask Kimi. Okay, so looks like habit underscore categories are with RLs is disabled. Let's see if Kimi can understand it. So, I created the tables and I realized that habit categories table has its ROS disabled. Can we fix that, please? Come on. Cool. There's a URL problem. Oh, okay. I think I understand. Because we have not added our URL keys here. Okay, let's come back to Supabase. Scroll down. As I said, I'll delete this project, so don't even try to use my key because it won't be working. Okay, and then API keys is basically Anon key. Save it. All right. Okay. Now I finished. Do you want to create the page TSX? Yes. Don't ask me again. Good. Let's keep going. All right, let's double check how much money we're using. Moonshot. So again, 0.76, right? Command R. We use 4 cents. 40 cents. Okay, 40 cents so far. I think so far I have a few feedback, and my feedback is probably mixed for both Claude Code as well as Kimi K2. Number one is about speed. I think Kimi was being very honest and open about it. If we come back to their X account, yeah, there we go. I really liked it because who's gonna just say like, oh, we're slow, right? And then they got a lot of support because of that. So I like it. And in reality, yes, it's not the fastest model we could use, but I think their advantage is if, as they say, they claim that agent calling or tool calling is very good. If you're building a product that use a bunch of multi-agent to do a task, and your agent need to call a bunch of tools, and if you're not doing something like this, like real time, or you can process these agents in the back end, or like some people have like email processing agent framework. If you're building something like this, using a much cheaper model could save you so much money. Sometimes when on X, you can see people saying that their monthly bill for OpenAI is this much because their agent is using OpenAI to process their prompts. Okay, but like if you're building something that's like let's say checking stock price real time, then you better use something faster. Okay. The second thing is that I think for Claude Code, it's not. I don't know. Like people are trying to hype this up. People are saying, "Oh, we don't need cursor anymore. Claude Code is the future." But for Claude Code, the problem is I can't see what are you changing, right? I cannot see what you're changing. But like if I do like I select this. I say Command Shift L. I use cursor and I'll be like, okay, this list looks bad. I want it to look nicer. Keep things simple. Okay. I turn on agent mode, Command I. Guys, now we're officially using cursor to compete with cursor Claude to compete with Claude Code Kimi. Okay. And you can see that it's running this agent. It's checking my file and I can see where exactly it's changing. This is like a feature that VS Code already has, which is kind of similar to how GitHub is marking the part of code that you're changing. I don't think it's hard. I think Claude should definitely integrate this. Forget about this window, okay? We're gonna create a terminal here, or maybe you can bring the terminal on the right-hand side, and then let people use whatever model they want. Custom URL or using your own API. Guys, feel free to jump to the later part of the video. Don't go away. Please stay. I want to show you how much we're spending at the end. Okay, it's almost another cent from 82 cents to 89 cents now. Error's gone. Let's come back. Whoa, look at this. Nice. Habit tracker, welcome back, sign in, create account. create account, post internal server problem. There's likely an issue with the database trigger function. Let me create a simpler, more targeted fix. A new snippet, run this, run the query. Okay, profiles equals true. Create account. Oh my God, yes, yes, it was something related. Oh my God, it works. Oh my God, it works. Okay, so what the heck just happened? So what did we do? Wait, I really want to understand this. This worked. Why? The original policy was too restrictive, so it didn't allow me to insert new profiles. Okay. Original trigger function has no error handling. If anyone went wrong with the profile creation, it would fail the entire registration. That makes sense. And security, you need to add the security definer so that the trigger function runs with the privilege as the anonymous user who doesn't have permission to insert. Okay, this is working. This is working. Look at this. Authentication. Let me run this again. Yeah, the email's here. Can add new habit, right? New habit is, drink orange juice. Create habit. Okay, this part I haven't built it yet. Okay, I haven't built it yet. But I think this is it. I think this is it. This is the end of this testing. So I'll just do mit.edu, create an account. Yeah, now it works. Okay, so there are two projects here. One is finance flow. This one works. Another one is habit tracker. I'll push this to GitHub. Git status, git add, git commit. Built another habit tracker, git push. You can see that there are two products now. Okay, so guys, quick feedback. Number one, let's see the cost. Okay, we started at 75 cents. Now it's like this much. All right, so 1.17 divided by 0.76. The whole thing took us 41 cents. The whole thing took us 41 cents. And I think it's probably gonna take, I don't know, a couple dollars if I use Claude. When I built the previous product, when I built personal finance dashboard, it told me it cost me $5. $5. But that was based on Claude's estimation. Okay, the actual cost over here was like 40 cents or something. And I think firstly, this model is actually cheap, even though a little bit slow. So this is good. Secondly, I don't like Claude Code. I think Claude Code is not showing me anything that's changing. Okay? I don't like Claude Code. I don't care what other people say. I don't like Claude Code. I prefer Cursor. Okay. Thirdly, I think Kimi probably is less familiar with Supabase compared with Claude 4, because I think Supabase is not a very popular framework. It's not a very popular backend tool in China. In China, people probably use Alibaba Cloud, people probably use Huawei or other tools, but not Supabase. Okay, so I think maybe a quick feedback for the Kimi team. If you guys want to push this model to overseas audience, try to train it more on the popular frameworks that people use overseas, like Supabase, NextJS, all these kind of things. And I think in China, people use Vue quite a lot. So the developers have different preferences, and make sure your training data has more, use cases for users everywhere, right? But I respect the fact that you guys admitted that it's a little bit slow, and I like the fact that, it's quite cheap, okay? So if I'm using this to empower some AI agents, I think that would be very helpful, okay? Thirdly, I think for open source model, it's always impactful for the rest of the world because not everyone has all the resources to train another model, but now you're opening your weights, make it publicly available, everyone can use it, everyone can try it, right? The fast progress of AI started from the open source of Llama, which is what Meta launched, I don't know, a year or two ago. And I really like that because ever since then, the model development, the foundational model development has been moving so fast compared with ever before, okay? So I really like that. So open source, I think, is very impactful for this world. And making things a little bit cheaper will enable more teams to be able to run heavy computing, right, or heavy intelligence cost. But I hope over time things will become faster, and I hope these models will be more integrated with popular frameworks on X, on YouTube. Cool, if you're interested in Kimi, give it a shot. I think the first, I don't know, 20 minutes of this video is already helpful for you to understand how Kimi works. And the last majority part is me showing you live how I'm building a thing real time. But overall, I think this is a very fun video, and I hope I will do more of this kind of formats. Let me know if this is helpful for you. I'll see you next time. Thanks.